Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a collective or general reading. Please be aware that parts of it may or may not resonate with you. And I have my little sidekick Stella here. She heard from the other room. Yes, I'm doing a reading and I started it without you. I apologize. It's my cat. She loves the energy of the readings. So here we go. We're going to start with the energy from the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. Sorry, I'm distracted by a cat that's blocking my vision of my cards. You have to lay down. You have to lay down or else you can't stay here. Thank you. Cats have staff. Dogs have owners. All right, here we go. Be a good girl. The King of Cups is sitting on his throne and he is holding a cup of love. So now this can represent, quite often it represents romantic love, but sometimes it can represent something you love to do, something you love to be, somewhere you'd love to go, that kind of energy. And he is sitting out in the middle of all this troubled water. Troubled water represents troubled emotions in the tarot. But he's totally chill. Like he realizes, hey, I've got control of my emotions. When the time is right, that's when I'll make my move. And he's got his one foot on the edge here. So it's his right foot, meaning that he's ready to step forward in a moment's notice and just enjoying the view. Otherwise, that's the energy. And we have the Hermit. So the Hermit, this is like after a dark night of the soul kind of energy. Like when a bunch of shift happens in your life and you're not sure of the direction that you need to take, then that's a good time to get into the Hermit energy. It's about climbing the mountain and getting to the top and just isolating yourself so that you can be alone with your thoughts with God and meditate within yourself. And then when you have the enlightenment that you need, this lantern represents the star energy, like that you were born to shine. And when you have that energy, then you will, the rod lights up. And that's representing that, okay, it's time to come down from the mountain. You know what to do. Now you need to put it into action. The universe loves action. Then we have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is sitting on his throne and he is focused on the pentacle. So this represents someone who is, he's really admired for his business acumen. Pentacles represent health, wealth, happiness. In the tarot, it's abundance, but abundance in everything on the earth. So it's not just about money, although money is a big part of that, and the coins are involved. But it's also about enjoying life, enjoying your lifestyle, enjoying the material things that life has to offer. That kind of energy, and generally, because this is someone who is representing the element of earth, and that's the pentacle. This is someone who is earns their living on some level of that. This could be a banker, this could be like accountant, financial advisor, life insurance salesperson, what else? Like it could be someone high up in the government that is in charge of the federal budget, that kind of energy. It could be an entrepreneur running their own business. Someone who is the head financial advisor of a corporation, that kind of energy. Okay, and we have a reality check coming in. So let's see now. The king is pretty chill, sitting out there in the middle of the water. He's the most available of all the kings, and he has a lot of practice in containing his emotions and not reacting. He responds, he doesn't react. He may have gone up to the mountain. He might be isolating himself in the middle of the troubled waters because he wants to be able to get his shift together and be ready to advise. Maybe he has hired the King of Pentacles to do some work for him, or they're collaborating on a project, something like that. And he wants to, there's been some reality check has come into being, and it's been sudden. So this could be a lot of things, because this is two kings. This isn't just like regular everyday people kind of energy. And so keeping in mind that this is a general collective reading, that means that everything that happens, like if you turn on the news and you watch what's on the news, and you see whatever's going on in the governments around the world and what's happening like in the banking systems and the economy and the real estate market and all of that, every one of those things has an effect on you also, as above, so below. And so it's also trickles down. And, you know, you may in your own household, in your own business, in your own city or whatever, be experiencing the same thing, but not on as grand a scale or with as much responsibility possibly, you know, associated with it. But as above, so below. So we're all in sync with each other on that level. So that when the upper management is having a reality check and it's like this, it's sudden lightning hits, it was something they didn't expect. Well, one of them expected it, but the other one was like, one's shocked and one's kind of like, glory, hallelujah, it's finally hit. That kind of energy. This is talking like, this is the tower comes down and it, you know, like clearly it's on fire and they're going to have to repair it to get back in there. So they're not going to be living there for a while, or they're not going to be going to work there for a while, that kind of energy. So this, you know, on a worldwide scale, I mean, look what's happening. If you turn on the news right now, this reading is, I think it's the 16th right now, or is it the 15th? I didn't look at the actual date before I started this reading. I wasn't paying that much attention to it really, but it's around the middle of January anyway. And, you know, just turn on the news, you'll see it. I don't want to bring it into this reading because it would take too long with all that's happening. But the reality check, when this hits, what it is it's like the universe has been like whispering to people, you know, hey, you might want to take a look at that. That seems like it could be problematic. And nobody's listening. So then the universe gets the frying pan out and whack. Did you hear me now? No, you didn't hear me now? Okay, well, here's the 2x4. And wham, you have to pay attention. You have no choice to pay attention. So it's kind of that kind of energy. So let's see what's going on. We have, this card is representing an energy of either playing it small or selling yourself short, or other people selling you short, kind of. So there could be some missing money here in the budget. Imagine that happening. And but there's a strong foundation, like for understanding how money is earned and made. And so this is talking about that strong foundation. And this is safe money. It's when you have enough that you're safe. And you don't want to really risk it, so you play it small. And then this is, oh, heck, I'm going to go for my heart's desires, and then, oh, my crowning glory, that kind of energy. And so this card quite often says, if you've been selling yourself short, you need to get in the game. You're going to have to take some sort of risk. When you're at the top of the pedestal, there's only one place to go. And if there's one thing that we can rely on in this world, because people say we can't rely on anything anymore. Yes, you can. You can rely on the fact that change is always happening. And you might not recognize it, but change is always happening. And so the energy is talking about, if you're on top of the pedestal, if you don't keep motivated and keep it going, and keep some action happening up there on that pedestal, the universe is going to knock you off of it, so that you have to get back up and take action again. And that's kind of the energy. So if you're sort of stuck down here, the universe might be saying, look, it's time that you stepped out a little here and you went after your heart's desires. Like, what's the point of being on this planet if you're not going to go after your heart's desires? And the city in the background represents like maybe having to actually leave the occupation you're in or the city you're in, that kind of energy. And it's rare to be a hero in your own town. So we have then the Nine of Cups coming in, and the Nine of Cups represents There's 10 cups in the tarot, and only 9, like we're just one away here from having ultimate fulfillment. So that's an awesome energy. This is talking, it's a very public stage, whatever's happening here, this ultimate fulfillment. And so this can represent, again, someone you love, someone, or, you know, like romantically, or, you know, you love your family, you love your children, you love your job, that kind of energy. They're lined up here. Now, are they lined up above his head, representing this is happening right now, or are they behind him, happening right now, or happening back then, or about to happen? And the thing about this card is it's talking about, this is something you wish for. And the problem with wishing is if you're wishing for something, it means you don't have it. So this is saying you need to stay focused, stay in the game, because just sitting there and wishing for something is not going to make it happen. You have to move forward and take some sort of action. We have the energy here of this person sitting, and he's sitting with his feet turned out, and this in body language represents someone who's leaking their energy and depleting it. And the hands crossed across the chest here can represent a very closed energy, like not willing to receive the rest of this blessing. But what you'll notice here is he's not covering his heart, and there is like an infinity symbol here. So if his hands were up a little bit higher, it would be like he'd be protecting his heart's desires, but he's not. He's open to receiving his heart's desires. So that's the energy we have here. But what this is saying, you need to stay in the race. You need to, many a race is lost in the last lap. Don't lose focus. Energy flows where attention goes, that kind of energy. We have this energy now. I'm just going to move this over a little bit here. We have this energy of strength. So this takes courage and strength, because in this economy, in this the way the world is going right now, it's like there's not a whole lot of surety. You may have noticed that. And so it's like everything's getting turned upside down and, you know, all over the place. So this is talking about this young woman is reaching into this lion's mouth, and that would be a very dangerous thing to do. But notice this lion is very submissive. He has his tail tucked under, and he's allowing it. And that's talking about she is facing her fears, and she's conquering them. And as she faces her fears and conquers them, she has more infinite potential to be able to move forward. This quite often represents having to face the fears that you've carried maybe since you were a young child. And then we have the energy of it's the Temperance. So the Temperance, I had 2 cards sticking together. So this is talking about, Temperance is actually one of the Sagittarian signs. And it's kind of funny because Temperance talks about having the patience to be able to wait for things to come to you at the perfect time, like just like this King of Cups energy here. That's what he's doing. And notice she has her foot in the water, and his is just above, but they both have their right foot. Hers is in the water and his is just above. And she's got her left foot sitting on land, or standing on land, and that is representing staying grounded on the, hold on just a second, I don't know if you are hearing this. There's a bazillion sirens outside. There's been a lot of sirens today. So a lot of activity out in the street there. I don't know what's going on out there now. Whatever. It's all good. Stella, you're calm. So this energy is saying she's grounded, and she's able to bring the alchemy that she is pouring into, you know, mixing and getting to stay on her journey. And so this is about staying on her path, on the mission she came to Earth for. Now this energy is talking about, you know, some people refer this to as the Earth Angel energy, that there's 144,000 angels sent to the Earth by God. Oh, okay, so now there's some more sirens out there. When I'm telling you, because I don't know if you can hear them, I have my mic on, but I don't know if it's canceling that out, and it's really loud. But it's really but when there's sirens, when there's a reading happening, and all of a sudden I'm talking about things, there's sirens for a reason. So it's kind of like there's some sort of like this energy here is volatile, is what I'm getting. Like it's not, it's there's something. And this energy, Sagittarius energy, really loves action. And that's kind of why it's funny that this is the card that is representing that, because probably Sagittarius is probably one of the least patient signs of them all. Sagittarius loves adventure and going out and exploring new countries, new projects, just loving knowledge just for the sake of it, kind of energy. And light loves action, and so for them to be patiently standing in this water instead of like heading up that mountain to see what's over there takes a lot of discipline and patience. And so that's what this energy is saying. Now I'm building a pyramid here, and so I have this bottom line is the bottom step of the pyramid, and this is representing the tools that I have to be able to move forward at this time. And now we're going to talk about the obstacles that could come up. So there's some sort of truth that possibly you're unaware of. This is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Now combined with the sirens outside and the fact that when you go to court and you swear on a Bible, you say, I'll tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. This is saying that when you find out the truth, you may be challenged by it. That the truth is coming in. This is a gift from the divine, and it's sitting on saying you've been patiently waiting for this truth. And this has been happening since you were a child. And it's going to be very challenging to hear this truth. So that's why God has waited to bring this truth to you. Like it's been kind of dripping, okay, here's a little bit of truth. Okay, can you handle that? Okay, good. Okay, now can you handle this much truth? What's that movie? I can't remember who was the actor. You can't handle the truth. Yes, you can. You can handle the truth. You've got a handle on the truth. But sometimes God protects us from what's happening around us because it would just be too much. Like and this quite often represents needing to heal your inner child. So this can be talking a lot about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is formed by the time we're about 6 or 7 years of age. And when you think about it, you don't have any real memory of that being a baby. Most people don't. And even up to until they get to kindergarten age. And in that time, your subconscious mind is formed. And your subconscious mind is formed by the thoughts of the people that are in charge of your care. And so they'll tell you, this happened to you, that happened to you when you were a kid. And you have to rely on what they're saying because you don't remember. And this is your subconscious mind, and it's heavily imprinted on you. So what happens in your life during that opening time, and people say, oh well, how much can it affect a baby? But actually when you think about babies, when they come in, they're not like deer. They don't get up on their feet. Like you may have noticed, babies don't come out of the womb and get up on their feet immediately like a lot of animals do. And they are totally helpless when they come out, and they need someone to care for them. And the energy is kind of like what a lot of people don't realize is they're not done developing until they get up on their feet, like their nervous system, etc. And so what happens in that first year of life with them is extremely significant. And so that's kind of the end. And the thing is, you don't remember it, but it has a huge imprint on you as a child. And so, and as an adult. And so when we get really stressed out, when there's, reality check coming in and it's a tower, that energy can really throw you kind of into these emotions, and you don't even really understand where they're coming from. So that's the energy that I'm getting, that this is something that you need to know, but it's not something that you're, that God will know when the time is right for you to know this. you've been left out in the cold of this information. I'm just getting a lot of people know this, but you don't know this, whatever that is. So this is God saying it's not a punishment. You're not being left out in the cold because God doesn't love you. You're being protected from this information because when you hear it, it's going to be very challenging for you. And it might make you feel even more left out in the cold than you did before, kind of energy. So you could have been a child that was adopted or in foster care, had problems in the family, and you were, this card represents not being really part of society, and it also represents having a shortage of money. I mean, the pentacles in the tarot, there's 10 at the most, and so this is having only half of what you need kind of energy. And this person is on crutches and this one's barefoot in the snow, so it's saying you don't have what you need. There's a bell on this one. They used to put, if people had the plague, they would put a bell around their neck and they would force them to wear it so that when they came into town, into the village, people would know it was them and would hear them for miles. Well, how are you ever going to be able to, get what you need when people they're running from you before they can hear you before you get there? The energy is also talking about like tarred, feathered, run out of town kind of energy. That's what I'm picking up. On the other side of this, though, if you've been in this situation, you have learned to be very reliant and have found who you can and cannot collaborate with, and you have a huge amount of discernment around that. People who have troubled childhoods can hear, like actually in body language. I studied under Herman Mueller, who is an amazing, amazing teacher, a wonderful mentor. And I followed him around when I saw him in action at a seminar one time, and I signed up immediately, and I studied under him for like 5 years because he was just a genius about body language and reading faces, and he just had a beautiful way of sharing that information. And that energy of that imprint of what happens to us when we're a young child, it can actually, if you're raised in a family where there's a lot of violence or discord, that your ears, the child's ears, will actually grow bigger and they'll stick out of the head more, so that you can hear better, so that you can avoid, what's coming. If you can get out and if you can hear, say that someone's driving up to the house and you know that maybe they're going to be violent, you get out of there because you hear the car way before it gets there. It's that kind of energy. It's fascinating how people develop depending on the emotions they're under, especially at a very young age. So yeah, this is talking about some heartbreaking decision had to be made. Now this could be past, present, future. And it's sitting on like this, a wish, something you've always wanted, and not being able to get past this point of going after your heart's desires. This can be a very disturbing looking card, but when you look at it again, you realize the heart is quite big compared to the swords. So that, it's not like the swords are more like nails or pins kind of energy. So you could heal from this, is the energy, right? But on another level, it can mean that in matters of romantic love and love in your family, I feel more like in this energy, is that there's been some terrible words have been said, and it's been, and you also have not been allowed to speak your truth. And so the words being said from your early foundation were not helpful, let's put it to you that way. And it's kind of like the heart is caught in the throat. There's fear, a lot of fear around in your younger developmental age that you can't remember. Having said that, this also can represent, because we're talking about going after your heart's desires and then the crown, this can represent the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind, which is your soul's needs and your spiritual nature. and your conscious mind, what you are aware of and what you do remember, coming together congruently with your heart's desires. And that, when that happens, that's when you can really, okay, I'm not going to sell myself short. I'm going to go after whatever I have wished for. I'm going to let go of my fears. And I'm going to, you've been patient, but you're going to be like the King of Cups. You can handle your emotions like the King of Cups because you've had to. That's the energy. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles coming in. And so the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving of all the knights. And this energy is talking about, you know, he's sitting right here. Which way do I go from here now? This is representing, like, the knights would deliver messages from the king and the queen and from the kingdom. And they would travel for miles and deliver the message, and then they'd have to travel for miles back, that in the old days. But nowadays, the energy can be, you know, like information coming in from a phone call, a text, an email, a letter in the mail, you know, that kind of energy. It can be something you see on social media, and it can be something that you see on the news, and you know, oh, that's trickling down, that kind of energy. And so because the Knight of Pentacles, he's at a standstill. And it's like he's sitting right on where this tower hit. And should I leave the city, or should I take that risk? Which way should I go? That's the energy here. And so he's making that decision, and it's regarding, do I have the resources that I need to be able to do this? And that's the energy, that's the communication I feel that's coming in. But this has been a long time waiting. And so perhaps this is in the past already. You've done that. You left the place where you grew up and you followed your heart's desires. And now you might be going after your crowning glory, that kind of energy. Notice the crown is blown off of here. So and this energy is also very significant right now, because on February 17th, we will be in the new Chinese New Year of the fiery horse energy. So this fiery horse energy, as soon as the horse comes in, I pay attention to it in my readings right now. That's coming in on February 17th. Now that energy is about, yes, I'm going to set higher aspirations. I'm going to achieve greater goals. I'm going to be more free-spirited. I'm going to, I'm in my love life, I'm going to be passionate, and, you know, horses are all about heart. And that energy, I'm going to give myself permission to go after all that. And at the same time, this is probably one of the best of the nights for the year moving into this energy, because the year of the horse, fiery horse energy, can be very impulsive. And it can be very fiery and very, like, temper tantrumy, you know, like people, it's like a driving force, and it can be like driving you forward so far hard that you're forcing things instead of allowing them to just naturally evolve, and you know, trying to force the energy instead of flowing with it, that kind of energy. So this can cause a lot of burnout, and it can cause a lot of disappointments, etc. When you're on a horse and you go in the wrong direction, I mean, if you're on foot, you're only going to get so far, and then you're going to get tired, and you're going to have to stop and rest. On a horse, you can go way further in the wrong direction. So this horse is at a standstill, but this information is coming in that you need to know, that, and it's information that God has been, like, dripping it to you, instead of, like, taking the hose and saying, here you go, kind of energy. And it's going to change your destiny. So that's the energy coming in. And so that's the beauty of the reality check. They're usually not much fun when the tower blows, but hey, it makes the wheel of fortune turn. And so this is funny, because this is also Sagittarian energy. So you've been waiting for this wheel of fortune to turn. It represents good luck. It's the past, the present, and the future. There's actually 3 wheels there. And this is talking about the synchronicities coming up through the universe, and that, you know, God has a plan, and it may seem at times like, hey, where's your plan, God? It seems really chaotic. And sometimes, you'll be like, they say God says that he doesn't give you more than you can handle, and you're like, I can't handle anymore, and that's why you're not receiving the energy. And so you might be feeling, or the information, the truth, like you want the truth. You know that people are talking about it. You have a really good idea what it's about, but you want like the paper, you want the communication, you want the, hey, this is exactly what happened. You want to know, but a part of you would find it very challenging to know. So you have to trust God's path, his plan for your destiny. That's the energy. Yes, because you could end up like feeling like you're in a mental prison by the truth that you didn't know. This is this person can't, they're blindfolded, bound up, and they are in like a mental prison because they don't know the truth. But if they do know the truth, it might be too much to handle. It might be so overwhelming, that it puts you in kind of like an energy of I don't know where to go kind of energy. In this energy, I don't know where to go, I don't know who to talk to, blah, 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 like that. So this is talking about that right foot is taking a step forward. And just like, and this King of Cups energy is saying, yeah, like I'm ready to take, like, it's almost like there was this much water and now there's only this much water. So this was your emotions, and now this is your emotions. So you have one foot on dry land already, and the other one is in shallow water. So it's saying that you've healed so much from these emotions already that you can handle the truth now. What is that movie? Everybody knows that movie. I can't even, when I get into the zone here, I can't remember the names of actors, and I know who they are. I can see them, I think in that movie it was Tom Cruise was in that movie, and I can't remember his name. I'm not going to worry about it. So in any case, this card is a mental prison, but it's something that the person can get out of, but they have to be willing to face their fears. That's the energy. And work on it until they are. And this is protection from God. God is saying, you're not being left out in the cold so that you're the joke and that everybody else in town can hear you coming and you don't know what's going on, but they know what's going on, because they're the ones that are responsible for it. And so that's the energy is they don't want you to know. When people do shift to you, they'll avoid you like the plague. They absolutely will. And then, especially if you're one of God's chosen earth angels that came to do a mission, and you're not messing with this energy, you're messing with this energy. And you'll get away with it for sometimes generations, actually, because we have choice, but eventually your actions catch up with you. That's what we call karma. A lot of people think karma is actually punishment, but karma is cause and effect of your actions and also of your inactions. And God is just like Santa. He knows when you've been good or bad. That kind of energy. And now we have the High Priestess here. So the High Priestess sits next to God on the throne, and she follows the cycles of the moon and is very intuitive. So she's sitting between these two pillars that are representing the extremes. This one represents the devil, and this one represents Jesus Christ. And so the High Priestess is the energy, the maternal energy of the Mother of Christ energy. And so she understands the cycles, and she sits next to God on her throne, and she is very intuitive. And this is saying you need to be able to use your intuition to navigate between good and evil in the world. And then we have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is coming in, and this is like the pages are a younger version of the knights. So the page they would start working for the king and queen around 7 to 14 years of age, and then they would, deliver small messages and tasks in the court. And they would generally come from the high society people around them, that kind of energy. And so the Page of Cups is studying this cup of love. And in this cup, there's a fish. And he knows there's plenty of fish in the sea. But he is very focused on this fish. So now this could be a communication coming in, kind of like when he's 21, he might have an opportunity to be a knight if he can afford a horse, right? He might be put up, that would be up to the king and the queen. So this is generally someone like of the age of under 21. I'm talking about the mindset. These are archetypes. So the kings can actually be women that are in their masculine energy as well as men in their masculine. And the pages and the knights were always, in the old days, they were always male, but they could now be females in their masculine. And the high priestess energy, well, that she sits next to God, and God is he and she is she. It's different in heaven. We don't have pronouns in heaven. So that's the energy. This is talking about feminine and masculine energy, not about gender. And so there's some sort of information coming in about someone or something you love. This could be romantic love. This could be someone who has their eye on you right now. They have a lot of options, but they are looking at you, and they feel that it may be their destiny to connect with you, and they want to maybe ask you out on a date or phone you up and say hello. It could be someone you know, it could be someone you don't know, but it's probably someone you haven't seen for quite some time because it's sitting on this energy also. And there's a tower here, like right underneath this person. So I feel like this person knows about this tower, and they probably know about what caused the tower and they know what this truth is. And so, we have to wait and see what is that about. We have the tools you need. We have the obstacles that you need to overcome. And now this is about having the courage to be able to face all this. And so the energy now is talking about the Page of Pentacles coming in. So the Page of Pentacles now is also coming in with another bit of information here. And it's talking about this energy here. Maybe this is this other pentacle. There's two pentacles coming in. So it could be like if you've been here, here's another pentacle and here's another pentacle. Go after your heart's desires. That's the kind of energy. And go for your crown and glory. Hey, why not? The crown blew off here anyway. That's the kind of energy. So that there's some sort of information coming in about this truth that is blowing shift up. The status quo is now changing. That's the energy. And it's representing you now at the 0 point. Because of this, you're now at the 0 point. And the 0 point is when the Fool begins their journey in the major arcana. This is when, the horizon is open to them. The journey, the Fool is on their journey, and this is, okay, now you're able to move forward again because this information is going to come in, and you've been waiting a long time for it. There may be a heartbreaking decision that needs to be made, or you may have already had to make a heartbreaking decision, or a few actually is what's coming up, and this is something you've always wished for. And this energy of being left out in the cold, let's see, where is that going? There's going to be justice. So, and this justice is, you notice that it's the same energy here, sitting between the two pillars, and representing two extremes again. This banner behind her represents the veil that is between the spiritual world and the physical world, the 3D and the 5D, that energy. And some justice is coming from the Most High, and it's regarding this truth. And she already has her right foot peeking out of her robe, just like very similar to the King of Cups, and she's got her sword up. And she's holding this sword of truth, and she's saying it's time. It's time for this energy to move forward. It's time for you to know the truth so that you can properly move on your journey. And it's time to bring justice to the situation of what left you out in the cold here. And then we have the Two of Pentacles coming up. So this is talking about the pentacles. Someone's been very busy multitasking and juggling these pentacles. This is an infinite, this is talking about infinite potential here. But it's being juggled. And so like here we have these two pentacles. Feel this is saying someone has been juggling your pentacles. That's the energy. Someone has, and you notice this energy here, the water in the background, you notice the same here, and here this energy is just a wave, and hey, I'm gonna go and hook up with this person. There's something fishy about this cup of love that this person is studying. And this energy is talking here. Look at, it's gained momentum, and it started off as a little ship, but now it's like a big wave on a big ship. This is talking, juggle your options, but don't juggle your morals. Yeah, it's caused a never-ending nightmare. This energy of a lover coming in and with some fishy love has caused you a lot of this energy of a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of worry, a lot of and never-ending nightmare energy, wondering if you're ever going to be able to get back on your feet again kind of energy. It's been like 9 swords, right? And the thing is, what's coming up here is this energy here is the 10, and the energy of the reality check is like right here on this. This is where when the reality check hits, that's when your destiny changes. And this is of the 9. You were so like you were working on having a wish come true, and on your path, and then you got left out in the cold. And the reason is because of this fishy love that was handed to you, and someone juggling their morals. And this energy is talking about, okay, the never-ending nightmare. And the thing that a lot of people aren't aware of is that in 2025, 2 + 2 + 5 was a 9-year. And it represents 10 years, almost a decade of energy that is coming to, that came to an end when we hit 2026. 2026 is 2 + 2 + 6 is 10. That's the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is now turning. It started really turning on New Year's Eve. That's the energy, moving into this brand new cycle of a decade ago. So you need to go back right now and just think, what was going on for you at the new year in that energy of moving from 2015 into 2016? Who were you with? What were you doing? What was the energy? Like that's what you want to look back on, because that's going to tell you, maybe give you more of an idea what this is about. And so this never-ending nightmare was caused by something that happened 10 years ago, right at New Year's, 2015, 2016. So that's part of it. But it's been going on for a very long time, since you were a child, whatever this is. It's the same kind of energy, but this truth coming out is going to like blow it up from the beginning to the end is what I'm getting. A big explosion. That's it's going to rock people's boats. That's the energy. And this is talking about, it can also represent, okay, you're in this never-ending nightmare, and you've been praying, and you've been meditating, and you're trying to figure out, right now we're in the Capricorn energy, which is about taking consistent steps of action towards your goals. So this could represent getting enlightenment in the wee hours of the morning from the Most High, from the Holy Spirit, saying this is the course that you need to do. And this is how how God, in His goodness and His love for you, His care for you, is slowly dripping this information to you through your subconscious mind, so that you're going to, when you receive this information, it's going to be challenging, but you will be able to handle it, because on some level you will already know. God is making sure of it. And this energy is talking about like that usually you wake up between 2 or 4 in the morning. That's why when I do these readings, I post them around 4 o'clock a.m. my time. And I get up and I do it myself because I want to put the energy out there for those of you who are maybe looking for some answers. That, you know, if you wake up and you see, oh, this is out there, that it's information that might be of value to you. Quite often and this quilt is talking about the cosmic heart. The universe has you covered. There's cosmic symbols on here. And this person, yes, they've been in a nightmare and they can't sleep and they've been worried. And possibly for 9 years they've been in this condition because of something that happened in 2015-16 cusp. And they are sitting there and they are trying to remember, okay, what did God say to do again? And so don't panic if you don't remember. It's your subconscious mind does, and when you're ready, it'll come to you. You'll understand. This is talking about the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles represents the energy of someone who is, you know, she's a queen. She's sitting on her throne. Yes, we know you're here, Stella. So she's sitting on her throne and she is holding the pentacle, and she is known for really having the ability to make something out of nothing, to be very resourceful, and to she prefers quality over quantity. So when she's multitasking, she is careful not to multitask too much and not to make herself too busy, because if she does, she knows that she might sacrifice quality over quantity, that kind of energy. And so the Queen of Pentacles is also studying this pentacle coming in. And this energy is after this enlightenment from source energy, that there's going to be more resources coming your way, is the energy I'm getting, sitting on these two. Once you understand the fishy cup, what was in that fishy cup? That's the energy. And then we have, it was competition driven. So this is immature competition, and it's talking about, you know, the mean girls, the energy of, you know, adolescent girls that are, you know, they haven't learned how to deal with their hormones at that time. And the energy is talking about not understanding that in reality they're not really competing with other teams or other people. You know, they're just learning how to be women at this time. And it's kind of the energy of recognizing they're not competing for attention with other girls as much as they think they are. They're competing with their own energy to be the best version of themselves. So the mean girls are basically, you know, like if you think of narcissistic cheerleaders, they can see the other team was better than them. They know that the other team deserved to win, but they'll do anything to get that prize anyway. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will make sure they do. It's that kind of energy. And then we have the hangman. So the hangman is hanging from the tree of life, similar to this energy right here at the hermit, checking in again. Okay, so what's going on here now? He's hanging from the tree of life, and he's upside down because he wants to gain perspective, like a brand new perspective, wants to look at it from all angles. And when he has that information again, then he'll know what action to take regarding this competition. And then the best thing you can do with competition is learn from it. You know, if you recognize that competition is there so that you can improve yourself, that you could be inspired by the competition and get even better at what you do, or you could, you know, and learn from it. That's the kind of energy that will be beneficial rather than, you know, doing anything to win a medal or, you know, like a trophy. And so this is the Ace of Cups. And so the Ace of Cups is coming in. So when I'm saying that, it's talking about, this is quite often a divine partner that will give you peace of mind, that actually is there for you. And this is a gift from the divine. This is a gift from the universe. This is talking about, look how calm the waters are. They're calm enough that there's lilies growing on it now. Out of the mud shall lilies grow kind of energy. That's what we're in. And there's going to be death. This doesn't actually mean physical death, but it's talking about transition. It could mean, very rare that it actually means a physical death. It usually represents a transition of the systems, that there's something in the systems of the world, because we're working with all these kings and queens, that isn't working, and that's also not working down, in the average person's life. And again, we have a horse here, and this horse, you may notice now, is moving, and it's moving in the same direction that this horse was. It's chill. The Grim Reaper doesn't have to rein this horse in. He's just trotting along kind of energy, because this horse is just represents the knowing that everything happens in its perfect time, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And if you stay on your path and consult with the Most High, that you will be rewarded for being in that energy. And there's going to be some people that don't want this to happen. They don't want the change to happen because they like things the way they are. And then there's going to be people that, like these two little ones here, these innocents, they are offering a bloom, a flower to the Grim Reaper. They don't know who the Grim Reaper is, but they're like, hey, hi, would you like a little flower here? That represents that there's going to be some growth here in your life because of it. And the Hierophant is in. And the Hierophant, again, is like, look at the pillars that he has here. So this is talking about bringing spiritual matters of justice down to earth. So the Hierophant is traditional systems that have been put in place to have justice. And we're talking about justice in the court of law, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, as you swear on the Bible, in a court of law, that kind of justice. And the Hierophant has his hand in a blessing in disguise. And this is saying that whatever happens here, you might be upset about it, because it may be people that you really care about. But this is energy that it is what it is. Or you'll find out something happened, and there was something to do with the judicial system happened. And so this Hierophant is the one responsible for bringing down this energy. And justice begins like in spiritual court, on the spiritual side. And it's brought down to earth because it's God's law. And so when people are messing with other people that are on a mission, and God has put them on that mission, we all have our special task. We're unique individuals. You're not just like an insignificant little dot. You are significant to God's plan, whether you know it or not. There is no one else exactly like you. And when someone messes with God's plan, it doesn't go down well with him. And God is a very loving God. It may seem like, why does God allow all this crap and this shift to happen on the world? Because we have choice, that's why. And, God hopes that we'll make good choices. Just like our parents, if we're raised properly, hey, we're going to hope that our children are going to make good, strong choices. This is talking about when this Hierophant rules, you will be able to put your burdens down. This is someone who's been carrying a heavy load. And some of this, like the interesting thing is, this can be like seeds that you planted that grew, because these represent trees, and they could be heavy with the fruits of your labor, but you're not seeing that. You're not getting the fruits of your labor. Someone else is getting the fruits of your labor here, and you're being burdened heavily by this, and it's time to put those burdens down. This is what's going to happen. This can represent unconditional love from source energy, from the universe. This is a reward. This is a blessing for being on your path and really having to really dig deep to be able to carry this much of a burden. And you're see, off from the rough waters. You got in the boat and you're off. You've dug deep. This pole represents you've had to really dig deep. You've had to face your fears, but you've chosen to move on from rough waters to smoother waters, with God. And God is sending someone in for you. There's two swords here. Someone that thinks like you. This could be a romantic partner. It could just be someone that you actually can count on, not like all the other people involved in this scenario. And this energy here is talking about there's a lot of money here. And, you know, why do people do shifty shit? Because they love money more than they love themselves. And that's, you know, whenever there's a situation that's really like, oh my goodness, like what's going on here? Follow the money. You know, that's just as sad as it is, it's the truth. Some people will give up their choice to have money. Like they will give up their choice, their God-given humanity, human dignity, to be a person of choice, someone that can choose to make strong decisions on the planet and make the planet a better place for money. So we have the Hermit here, and this is about the dark night of the soul and having to go up to the, like, it's been so hard, you don't know what to do. So you crawl up the mountain and you isolate until you can heal enough to be able to take some moves forward in light. And this is about being in a mental prison. This card also represents actual 3D physical prison for the energy, evil and good. The High Priestess is sitting on the cycles of the moon, and quite often this represents people that are in the dark energy. They love the moon. They know the power of the energy of the moons. So that's when they get together and they do like whatever the shift they do. And then this is the Hangman, getting the knowledge and going back and forth and making sure that every time there's another burden, like, okay, how am I going to handle this? Making sure that you go inward and you look for the answers before you take action. And then this is about, okay, now you finally, you're at the top of the pyramid. You can sail off to calmer waters under God's plan. And this quite often represents this adult and this child of the inner child finally being healed from whatever happened to them, and being able to move now forward with justice. And this is a transition. This shift is over. This juggling of morals, the people that did that, and the justice is going to make sure that they're going to court, and that it's going to have to be dealt with. And then people all over the planet have been working towards this and patiently waiting, like for some energy coming in that there's justice in the world. And in the meantime, the King of Cups may be this person, because they're just still in the middle of those emotional waters, chilling out, just waiting for you to heal so that they can empower you some more to go on this journey. This is a beautiful reading. I really like it. It actually makes me want, like, it's a sentimental sadness here that a lot of you might feel when you like, oh, okay. It kind of explains a bit of things. Maybe you feel like you've been, deserted by God in some ways. Like, why do people that do shifty shift have a better life than you do? Well, it's because they don't actually. It just appears to be so, and it's because you are on a mission. And you stuck to your purpose, and a lot of people can't, because it's not easy. It's not an easy journey sticking to your purpose when other people are having more fun around you when they're doing shifty shift, you know? And so let's clarify this. If you're enjoying this reading, give it a comment and a like, please, as it empowers me to build my channel. I'm really happy to do these readings for you, and would like to be able to continue. And also, I'm going to clarify this now with my oracle. I'm just tuning into it as we speak here. And this is something I began in 2007. In 2020, I completed it, the paintings of it. And it's from courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And there was a lot of big dragon paintings to paint, big 3 foot by 4 foot with crystals and all this energy on them. So it took me a while, and now I've had these cards out and about but I didn't have all of them done at that time. So now that they're all done, I'm working on bringing the actual deck out, and I just am working on the information of the book that goes with it. And so I want to thank you for your time and energy, because you're empowering me to do that with these readings. And so here we have it. I haven't had anything really want to jump out yet, because that's usually how these cards are. In the description box below, I will have the cards in the order that they appear here in this reading. And that I have a website, talesfromthevector.com, TAILS. You can go there and check it out if you want. The numbers of the cards on I'm using here are how they are on in my gallery. So you can check out which paintings you want to. And there's some information. Oh, there we go. Where did that card go? Stella, did you see it? Oh, she's asleep purring. So here, it's right here under K. I've got it. So it's the Hierophant energy came out. So it's this energy at the top here talking about that this judgment, or this energy of the Hierophant being responsible for bringing the blessing in, that could be the person that's the King of Cups. That's kind of cool energy. So they're an actual real live person that's aware of what's going on here, and they're actually going to do something about it. That's a plus also, isn't it? Okay, here we go. We've got intent. So the karmic space of intent. So the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yes, we get into this space where we have good intentions, and then sometimes they go awry. You may have noticed. I just want to do the pass down to this energy here. I feel like, we've got like this energy of the Black Night of the Soul, and being caught in this prison, and then having to really go get close to God to deal with the competition, and then going back again and letting go of the burdens. I just want to make sure I have this right. Going off with God, the Hierophant comes in after this cup of love is offered. This is, systems coming down. This is juggling morality, justice, and the truth, and the truth, and the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, ending in what a lot of people on the planet are waiting for at this time. I just want to make sure that I have that right as I go, because this energy is really a lot. It's a lot of energy. There's a lot coming in from a lot of different people. I feel this is representing how a lot of people on the planet feel right now, and perhaps even throughout the entire universe. So we have the Empress here, and this is representing the generator. So in my deck, the Empress, she's sitting on her throne, which is terminated quartz crystal, and she is just in the flow. And so she's just constantly transmuting and manifesting energy. And then we have karmic space of anger. So there's something about anger in the family, like what I was saying, like when you're a young child, something may have happened to you. And the thing about anger, it's the gift that keeps on giving, because if you're raised by angry people, then they teach you how to be angry, and then you teach your children to, and then you say, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to be angry like that, and then you are, and then you're like, damn, that kind of energy. And we have the moon energy coming in. So we did have that full moon on the 3rd of January was a real very volatile full moon. It was in the sign of Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, and it was opposing the Capricorn energy, which was like, let's climb the mountain, let's go and build stuff, let's get out there, let's do things. And the Cancer energy is saying, I just want to crawl in bed and stay home. And adolescent energy, of beginning the cycles and not being able to handle the hormones that well yet. Wanting comfort food. And this is about the wish. So you can wish upon a shooting star, but you have to have a good attitude and keep going and working towards what you're working towards, because wishes don't just come true. When you're wishing for something, that means that you don't have it. So or you wouldn't be wishing about it. So you have to put some energy into it. You have to have a good attitude to go after, to make wishes come true. The possibilities are there and they're open to you. That's what it's saying, but you need to participate in your future if you want to have a good one. And so this is the Capricorn energy I was just talking about moving forward, being really ambitious, climbing that mountain to get to the top. And, you know, the Capricorn is the mountain goat with the dolphin tail on the end, so it's a little bit challenging to do. But when this Capricorn energy is at its best, it's talking about really being setting ambitious goals and then taking responsibility and understanding. Like if you're someone that owns like a large business, like a corporation or whatever, and you have a lot of employees under you, your decisions affect them and their families. If you're running the government, you're someone that's high up in the government, every decision you make has a profound effect on the people that are going to have to deal with whatever choices you make. And so this is about being able to see the possibilities and the challenges and being able to face those. And then and that's the energy we're in right now until around, I think it'll be around the 20th of January. So not that far, about 4 days away from moving into the next sign. And then we have the Emperor. So the Emperor is all about performance. This is all 4 kings rolled into one. And this Emperor is sitting on this energy here of the messages coming in. So we're not quite sure. This is about performance, about being able to move forward, going for the crowning glory. And it could be the Emperor that is the person that is maybe that the Hierophant has hired to deal with this energy. This could be, this quite often represents someone like that's very like a Supreme Court judge kind of energy. And the Emperor is all the 4 kings rolled into one energy that has all those qualities and the wisdom and it's all about performance, getting the paperwork done, getting the 3D shift done. Whereas the Hierophant is more about bringing that spiritual energy down to earth and making sure that justice is seen on both sides of the veil here. And then we have the Hermit. So the Hermit is being said again that, and it's sitting right here on this destiny here. So safe travels. My Hermit card is actually from Manitoba in Canada, and it's the 3 monkeys made it into a totem pole, and the light in the lantern is actually the Aurora Borealis. And the light from that, but the 3 monkeys are hear no ego, see no ego, and speak no ego. That energy. And then we have the guiding star. So this is talking about it's sitting right here on this intuition. The guiding star is actually this crown chakra energy here, and it's talking about, that's the star that that the 3 wise men followed to find baby Jesus when he was born. And then we have the trauma queen. So this energy, is talking about like just not growing out of this adolescent energy. And that it's not a slap in the face to say that. It may be that if you were raised in a family, excuse me, if you were raised in a family where there was a lot of yelling and trauma, or maybe you were in foster care or something like that, it's a weird thing. But if you end up being in calmer waters and you end up being in a calmer situation, it can actually trigger this energy in you, like, oh, there's something wrong. There's not any drama. Like they're supposed to, like it's an uncomfortable feeling not to have the drama. And so this is about, putting down your burdens and not always having to fight for what you want, just allowing it to come to you and not running away from your potential and not just getting stuck, like where you just can't do anything. And then we have attachment. So attachment is talking about, it's the mother of all the karmic spaces. And the problem is that when you become attached to something, then you want to keep it. And then you'll abuse your power to keep it. And you'll figure out all these intentions that you have to keep it. And then you'll get angry if you can't keep it. Like that kind of energy. And then we have the judgment. So the judgment is coming in. And this is saying that judgment and justice, actually, God's the only one that can really judge other people, like, because we don't know what people have gone through. We don't even know what we've gone through. We can't remember what happened to us when we were babies. So this is about the cosmic heart, and this is about justice coming on a cosmic level. Like, yes, this energy around the world, it's very chaotic, but in actuality, the universe is a very ordered place. It's just that it's expanding and it's contracting and expanding and contracting. So there's times where it can go really out of order, and then when it can feel like it's in place. So this is talking about, yes, this judgment coming from the spiritual level, from the Most High, and being brought down to earth. And then we have the karmic space of ego. Yeah. Yeah, when you start thinking that, oh, hey, I know more than God, and I'm doing it this way, and I'm taking this. What God meant for someone else, you're just going to take it. Really. Well, good luck with that. That's the kind of energy. Like you have to have one hell of an ego, like a bat out of hell, to really believe that you have more power than God. And then we have the Earth Star. And you might say, well, I don't believe in God, but that doesn't really matter, because whether you believe in God or not, statistically, the vast majority of people, like, it's very high. I think it's like around 89% or 83%. I can't remember exactly what it is. But there's only about 16% of people on the planet that don't believe in God. And so that energy is like, all those people that believe in God are going to have an effect on you, whether you believe in God or not. It's just the way it is. Get over it. Get over yourself. And so the manifester is about being able to manifest on planet Earth and bring what you were meant to do here, which is be the best version of yourself, and bring that down to Earth. And this is talking, then you would be on a foolhardy and adventure. As the fool, like if you stay on your path, then you're in your heart's energy. That's when you are, you can anticipate the journey and not get kind of waylaid, because when we have expectations create limitations. If you're saying, oh, I want this and I want that, and then all of a sudden it doesn't come in the way you wanted it, and so, well, I'm not going to take it then. Well, you're going to be disappointed, of course. So it's about being able to anticipate your journey, because you're on the one that you were put on Earth here to do. And you're following your heart's desires, and what you feel in your heart is the correct path for you. I love this reading. This was really beautiful. It was really deep. I'm going to go and probably have a nap after this, because it's just been a lot of energy, a lot. Really good energy, though. My little cat is asleep. Sorry, I have to wake you up, Stella. There we go.